Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the right spot of the news. You are more and more numerous to listen to us, and this is an opportunity for us to say thank you. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future. Bitcoin has been controversial since its beginning in 2009, as have the subsequent cryptocurrencies that followed in its wake. Bitcoin presents specific and significant risks. In addition to the fact that it is originally purely electronic, this currency has the particularity of not being linked to any central bank, of escaping the control of states and banks, and of having no attachment, reference, or fundamental value. This makes it an ideal tool for speculators because this virtual currency is subject to high volatility. For example, in 2011, the price of Bitcoin had collapsed from $33 to $2.50 while it had previously experienced a sustained rise. It then rose dramatically to $4,700 in the summer of 2017, then nearly $20,000 at the end of 2017, before plunging to $3,100 in December 2018. Experts also criticize the opacity of the operation of this tool. Without a bank, without a monetary authority, Bitcoin leaves no trace and would therefore be likely to be used for money laundering and terrorist financing purposes. Bitcoin, thanks to the anonymity it confers, is also used on commercial sites that sometimes offer to buy illicit goods. The authorities are trying to stem this phenomenon. For example, the U.S. judicial authorities have closed the website Silk Road, a site that was used to acquire narcotics online and anonymous, on which large volumes of bitcoins were exchanged, the only means of payment accepted on this site. Nowadays many companies pretend to trade, and yet it is just a way to collect funds from investors and run away. This case highlights the fragility of the system. This currency is not regulated and has no legal tender. The holders do not benefit from any guarantee of reimbursement. The Bank of France published on December 5, 2013 a document entitled, "The Dangers Related to the Development of Virtual Currencies." It recalls that Bitcoin cannot be considered as a legal tender or as a means of payment within the meaning of the Monetary and Financial Code. It also highlights the random nature of the convertibility of Bitcoins into legal tender, because it is based on the principle of supply and demand, and therefore the risk of paralysis and collapse of the system in the absence or insufficiency of buyers to buy back Bitcoins against currencies. The specific risks of ICOs. In 2017, faced with the rise of ICOs which, unlike IPOs, are not currently regulated, the AMF in turn warns savers against investing in Bitcoin. For an investor wishing to participate in an ICO, i.e. directly finance a blockchain in virtual currency, the traditional risks associated with equity investment are amplified by the risks intrinsic to virtual currencies and in particular Bitcoin. There is a risk of outright scam since, as this market is not regulated, the investor takes the risk of investing in an empty shell. Executives of companies using ICOs can, more easily than on traditional stock markets, divert money from investors. The risk for the investor may be that his investment is diverted to finance illegal activities, various trafficking, terrorism. Another risk is understanding the blockchain ecosystem. The risk of cybersecurity should not be overlooked. Identifying the reliability of partners is made more difficult by the novelty of its technologies and the weakness of regulations. ICOs are reserved for tech-savvy investors who are familiar with this environment. The question of the valuation of virtual currencies like Bitcoin is another source of risk. These virtual currencies are particularly volatile, hence increased risk-taking. Companies financed by ICOs generally develop innovative and little-known technologies, which can be very successful but also present a high risk of bankruptcy. As with any investment in risky projects, investors need to be extra careful. Without being able to control virtual currencies, which, in essence, are designed to escape any control of the public sphere, the authorities exercise their power over conversion platforms. Indeed, the use of virtual currencies to launder money or finance terrorism is only of interest if these sums can then be converted into legal tenders. Thus, in France, a decision of the Commercial Court of Créteil of December 6, 2011 concluded that the activity of conversion platforms should be analyzed as the provision of a payment service, requiring an authorization of the institution in charge of finances. While widely criticized for its volatility, its use in nefarious transactions and for the exorbitant use of electricity to mine it, crypto is being seen by some, particularly in the developing world, as a safe harbor during economic storms. But as more people turn to cryptos as either an investment or a lifeline, criticisms of crypto have continued to manifest in an array of restrictions on their usage. The legal status of Bitcoin and other altcoins, alternative coins to Bitcoin, varies substantially from country to country, while in some, the relationship remains to be properly defined or is constantly changing. Whereas the majority of countries don't make using Bitcoin itself illegal, its status as a means of payment or as a commodity varies with differing regulatory implications. Some countries have placed limitations on the way Bitcoin can be used, with banks banning its customers from making cryptocurrency transactions. Other countries have banned the use of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies outright with heavy penalties in place for anyone making crypto transactions. Do you think Bitcoin is a scam? Or do you think it should be adopted by different countries as legal tender? Your opinions in the comments section, and see you soon for another video.